Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back, all from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, kicking off a 50-cent pick 4 at Belmont Park on Belmont Stakes Saturday with a wide-open edition of the Grade 1 Just a Game Stakes for fillies and mares going a mile on a widener turf. Before we get to the analysis, head on over to DRF.com, 25% off the retail price for Belmont Stakes winners packages. You get past performances, clocker reports, betting strategies, players' guides, and lots more. Here's the field for the Grade 1 Just a Game. David Aragona must have had a whale of a time making the morning line for this one. He settled on Blowout as the tepid 4-1 morning line favorite.
Boy, I wouldn't want to make the morning line for any race, Dan, but certainly not for this one. It's that wide open of a race, and it's very important, too, how the race gets bet, Dan, because I feel like there are so many horses that you can make cases for in here that the best thing to do from a wagering point of view is to just wait and see who the best price is.
You've got a little bit of everything. You've got Charlie Appleby-trained European Invaders. You've got the usual tandem offense of Chad Brown, and you've got several closers and a couple of interesting speeds. And one of the speeds trained by Chad, as we take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector, Blowout just received a brilliant ride from Flavien Prat at Churchill Downs. It had always seemed to be close, but no cigar for Blowout. So Blowout blew him out early. He took him down the road, and they couldn't catch her.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, she opened up a pretty big lead. It was interesting because it didn't seem like she was going that fast, Dan. And I thought Flavien Prat did a really good job to sort of control her speed up there, clear out in front. She dug in very gamely to prevail at the end, though.
Now, remember to head on over to timeformus.com once scratches are made official. The 2 Sweet By and By, the 4 Regal Glory, they are cross-entered earlier in the week at Belmont. They could run here if rain softens up the turf course. So this pace projector could change. Blowout, though, expected to make the lead. A horse that could come from the back of the pack is the number 1, Zofeli. Let's watch Zofeli's race 2 starts back. The Grade 3 Honey Fox. She ran very well against a nice mare and got stormy. She's going to come on the outside with a good, strong bid. 95 Beyer speed figure, and was one of the horses chasing Blowout at the end of the Distaff Turf Mile. She's very consistent. She needs pace and a trip.
Yeah, and maybe she'll get it here, Dan. I think she's interested in this race, especially because it feels like she could get a little bit lost in the wagering in this spot. That race we just watched right there, but she ran great that day. I thought she was probably best when all was said and done. That was a very rated pace that she was trying to close into. You know, she didn't have a huge excuse last time when she couldn't catch Blowout, but I thought she probably ran the second best race, Dan. I mean, down on the inside, she had to sort of come in through between horses in the stretch there, just missed getting second. I thought she ran fine. I'm using this horse.
Sweet By and By, the number 2, one of the horses entered in the Intercontinental Stakes on Thursday. If she runs here, she can be close to the pace. She's very adaptable. Let's watch her last race at Gulfstream. It was the Sand Springs going a mile and a 16th. Not a strong group of horses, but Sweet By and By did what she had to do, and she did it fast. 95 Beyer speed figure. If she runs here, it's a marked step up in class.
Yeah, this is a much tougher race for her. She's a very nice horse, very consistent, and I do like her running style. It feels like she could really land a trip in this race. I think she has a much better chance to win the Intercontinental, though, than to win this race.
Daddy is a Legend, the number 3, is a big price on the morning line, but she has plenty of back races that indicate she can be very competitive in a race like the Just a Game, and it was really heartening to see her back in form last time out. First start off the layoff for George Weaver. Daddy is a Legend found an allowance spot at Keeneland. She got up close to a moderate pace, and I like the way she finishes it off, and it was good to see that for once she didn't get into trouble. She's one of the more trouble-prone horses in training. This is a very confident win off the layoff, and Mike, and the third place finisher came back to win the Kirtana at Churchill with a 91 Beyer.
Yeah, this is a pretty good performance, Dan. You know, it's hard. It only got an 87 Beyer, but it's hard to get a fast figure when the pace is that slow. And you just saw Rosario in the stretch there. He never really got down to serious business with her. He took it over when he had to. He won, I thought, fairly convincingly. This is a filly with a ton of back class, who just never, for whatever reason, was able to get a 5-year-old campaign going last year. But she came off the layoff very well last time. She could easily win this race. 30-1 on the morning line, Dan. Boy, you got to use her at that price.
Regal Glory, another one cross-entered in the Intercontinental. This one for Chad Brown, coming off a really nice race in the Plenty of Grace, going a mile at Aqueduct for her seasonal debut. Let's watch Regal Glory, bet down to 7-10 favoritism, and she just tracked comfortably on the outside, and she runs by a game pace setter, Platinum Painter, who came back to run third in the Bogey with a 94 buyer speed figure. This mare has been managed brilliantly by Chad. I think she fits slightly better in the Intercontinental, but she has ability and she has a kick.
Yeah, she does. I think she's very underrated. The Intercontinental probably is the better spot, if only because she seems like a very likely winner of that race. If they decide to run here, I still think she's a major player in this race, Dan. I think she has the races and the running style to be very competitive here. They ran her in this race last year against what I would argue was a much tougher field, and she ran very well.
Always Shopping won the Gazelle as a 3-year-old on dirt. She went off form a little bit. Todd Pletcher switched her to turf. The light bulb came back on. She was very good going longer distances over the winter at Gulfstream, including this race. Last time out, the Sheepshead Bay. They brought her up to New York after a good Gulfstream winter. She ran well behind Magic Attitude, Mike, and that was a race where Magic Attitude, Muta Makina, these are horses with a strong closing kick. Always Shopping got a little tired. I like that they're going to turn her back because they could have run her in the New York at a distance that may be more comfortable for her.
Yeah, it might be. You're right about that. I don't know about turning her all the way back to a mile, Dan, against this field. We'll see. She's going to have to really take a step forward, I think, to beat this field. But I agree with you. She's run really good races. And I thought, all in all, she was the beaten favorite last time. I thought she ran fine. She made the first move after the pace in there, maybe went a little bit early and just got herself engaged with Antoinette on the lead and got a little tired. I thought she ran fine.
A filly with a tremendous amount of upside potential is the 6, Pocket Square, Juddmonte Farms homebred, trained by Chad Brown. Group winner and only her 3rd lifetime start in France last year. Let's watch her North American debut. She took down a weaker field at Keeneland in an allowance race, but I like the way she kicked on home. She swings to the outside, turning into the stretch. She has work to do. Irad Ortiz is very confident with her. She inhales these horses.
Yeah, this is an impressive win, as you say, very confidently ridden. He never seemed like he had to ask her for her best. She takes over easily and is clear at the end. A nice return for a horse who had only had one race since she was a 2-year-old, Dan. I mean, she won those 2 races as a 2-year-old really impressively over in France, and for whatever reason, just couldn't get a 3-year-old campaign going at all. I like the way she came back off the layoff.
I'm a big fan of the 7, Abscond. I admit she has to improve a good amount probably to win this race, but she's always been very consistent. What I like best about her is the fact that she can put herself into the race. And if Timeform US is right, and there's not a ton of speed in here, I think she can work out the right trip. This is her 3rd start back off of a long layoff for Eddie Cornelio. If you look in Formulator, does very well 3rd off the bench. Last time out, they conceded to Blowout. She saved ground. I couldn't complain about the ride. She just couldn't get there. But I don't know, Mike. I think she still has a little bit of upside.
I do too. And trips are going to be very important in this race, Dan, and it feels like she can get a good one at a really good price too. Does she have to improve to beat this field? Yeah, she does, but she improved last time, and there's no reason that she can't improve again. She does have some talent.
Altica, the 8, Summer Romance, the 9, both owned by Godolphin, both trained by Charlie Appleby, both coming out of this race. The Grade 2 Balanchine at Meydan back on February the 18th. Summer Romance, wearing a hood for the first time, has speed. And Summer Romance was able to get loose early, shook clear from this field. Altica on the outside is going to get up for 3rd. It'll be interesting to see how Summer Romance contests this race. Are they going to be aggressive? That's her style.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they should go forward with it. It feels like that's what she wants to do. Out of this race, Dan, and I guess it's worth noting that this is a mile and an eighth, not a mile. I want Altica out of this race, who just to me felt like she was very badly compromised as Summer Romance just walked on the slowest of paces. The flip side of that is 2 starts back, they were also in the same race. And on that occasion, Summer Romance went a much faster pace and didn't run poorly at all. So I don't know. I don't think there's that much separating them. I guess I slightly prefer the 8 to the 9, but it's pretty close.
Chad Brown trains the 10 Tamahir and the 11 Blowout. Tamahir seems like a little bit of a tough filly to ride. She can get headstrong. Sometimes she's rambunctious behind the gate. I thought all in all, her Jenny Wiley, the race we're going to see right now, is an okay effort. She pulled early, conceded the lead to Juliet Foxtrot, who then proceeded to walk the dog. Tama here gets to the outside. She's game for second. It just seemed anyone trying to come from off the pace was compromised. The fifth place finisher came back to win the Grade 1 Gamely last week. That's Maxim Rate earning a 96 buyer at Santa Anita.
It felt like perhaps, she was just a little too headstrong in this race, Tama here, or at least early on, just under a really big pull. Irad had a pretty tough time. It felt like getting her to settle, and then she just couldn't gain any ground in the stretch. I guess she ran fine. Her matriarch last year, I thought, was a little bit disappointing, Dan. I thought she'd run better that day. Her stateside debut was really impressive. So far, she hasn't really backed it up. I wonder if she'll do it here.
Here's Blowout, the number 11, just getting beat a nose in the matriarch, her final start of 2020. She conceded the lead early to Juliet Foxtrot, then tried to re-rally on the outside, and she's going to put Juliet Foxtrot away. And then, as it just seems to be throughout most of her career, Blowout was on the wrong end of the photo finish camera. For her fourth consecutive race, she lost by less than 3/4 of a length. It was nice to see her win last time out the Distaff Turf Mile, and I'm assuming Pratt's just going to send her to the front again.
Yeah, might as well just go and just try to do what worked for you last time. It's a tougher field this time, so it feels like she'll have to run a little bit better than that to wire this field, but she's obviously very good, Dan. I mean, it's nothing but good races on her card, and she's gotten unlucky more than once.
I'm very concerned that I underestimated New York Girl in my selections, the number 12, Mike. She won the Hillsborough 2 starts back at 1 1/8. And last time out, they just let Blowout go. And she ended up far back, but she was running on at the end and got the better of some of the others in this race in that blanket finish. New York Girl, if the pace heats up, and really Summer Romance is one of the keys to this race, because if she goes out there early and battles it out with Blowout, all of a sudden a closer stalker like New York Girl has a big chance.
Yeah, true enough. Again, trips are going to be very important in this race, and maybe she'll get a better one this time. And if she does, she'll get it at a price, Dan. She's 15-1 on the line. She's another horse who probably has to take a step forward in here, but it's not out of the realm.
And as we take a look at our picks for this race, we're all over the place. For me, this is just a spread. I like your horse a lot, Pocket Square, and I want to use her because I think she has a tremendous amount of potential. But I want a big price to maybe blow up this pick 4. I like Abscon's tactical speed. I'd love to see her sitting off of the Dubai horse and Blowout early and at least have a fair chance turning into the stretch. 7, 6, 9, 10 for me. You like Pocket Square. 6, 1, 11, 10 for you.
Yeah, I'm just a wide open race. A lot of different ways to go. I ultimately sided with the horse who probably still has upside and who is just a little bit more of a new face, Dan. I like those things about Pocket Square, and I obviously liked her stateside debut. I'm using a good amount of Zofeli as well. I think she's going to sit and make one run in here.
Spread race for me in the pick 4. I probably use all 4 of my top selections to kick things off. It's the Just a Game Stakes. Doesn't get more wide open than this on Belmont Stakes Saturday. Good luck.